Hello there, Kyle Katarn here, and it is Wednesday, my dudes. Let's do the comics. First up, we have Age of Republic, Qui Gon Jinn, #1 by Jody Houser and Corey Smith. The story begins with Qui Gon Jinn and his young Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi defending the Empress of Wood against a Thanos-looking motherfucker who's trying to cut down a very important tree. Qui-Gon grabs the Empress and leaps to safety, deflecting some blaster bolts, and Corey Smith's artwork really shines through here. It's a bunch of vibrant, busy streaks of color as Qui-Gon's green saber deflects all these red blaster bolts. It's very visually striking. The Empress of Wood is pissed that Qui-Gon didn't just use his laser sword and cut down all of her enemies. But as we all know, Qui-Gon Jinn is not about to let royalty tell him what to do.
Her Highness commands you to take her handmaiden with you.
No more commands from Her Highness today, Captain.
The Empress calls the Jedi cowards for not ending the conflict. Not at all like the great warriors she had expected them to be. Qui-Gon speaks to Yoda about what's troubling him. He's not bothered about being called a coward. No, what really bothers him is that the Jedi are being viewed as great warriors. One of the things that I've always loved about Qui-Gon Jinn's character is that he always has deep philosophical conversations about what it means to be a Jedi and to use the Force and protect people. He's a Jedi master from a time when the Order wasn't militarized. You know, this is peacetime. And so he's able to have these philosophical conversations, and I've always just loved that about his character. Also, I never realized how much I wanted to see Qui-Gon Jinn piloting a Jedi starfighter, but it was so cool. It felt so natural and just badass to see him doing that. Trusting in the will of the Force, he punches in random Navi computer coordinates. Qui-Gon arrives on an unassuming world that has been passed over by galactic civilization. And this is another section of the issue where the art really shines to the forefront. The planet is covered in these bright corals and sharp thorns, with really vivid color contrast, and the 4-page spread of Qui-Gon meditating and becoming one with the planet, sensing the life force and the energy itself, was absolutely badass. Some of the coolest artwork I've seen in a while. His vision turns to death and darkness, and as he wakes from the Force vision, he's left with a warning that without great care, the Jedi can turn into that which they guard against. Qui-Gon returns to Coruscant and speaks with Yoda, serenely discussing the role of the Jedi and bringing balance to the Force. I really liked this issue. I've always been a huge fan of Qui-Gon Jinn's character, and I've always been disappointed at how little they've revisited him. This is the Jedi Master who discovered Anakin, who set the events of the Star Wars saga in motion almost single-handedly. And he's one of the last of the traditional Old Guard Jedi Knights, protectors of the galaxy during peacetime. It's a whole different thing. When the Clone Wars began, the Jedi Order became militarized, and all of their efforts, everything was centered around the war effort, fighting the Separatists. But in Qui-Gon Jinn's heyday, their time was spent meditating and focusing on what it means to be a Jedi, and how to better preserve that balance and preserve all life in the Republic. Props to Jody Houser, the dialogue was authentic without being super derivative, which is a hard balance to achieve when you're trying to write a Force discussion between characters. Trust me, I've tried it. The artwork was totally solid. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to what Age of Republic is going to bring us next. Next up, we have Star Wars 58 by Kieran Gillen and Angel Unzueta. The Rebels are still stuck on this backwater moon that shuns technology. Stranded, they gotta wait months for the next trader ship to come, and they are cut off from the rest of the Rebel fleet. While Luke Skywalker is defending the villagers and totally getting hit on by Thane Marcona, Han and Leia enjoy a quiet drink. They're smiling, they're having a good time, and all I could think about while I was reading these 2 pages was, thank God Salvador Larroca is not in charge of the art anymore. Look at this. Look at these 2 happy people right here. I think we all know what they would look like if Larroca was still doing this shit. Their nice moment is interrupted, however, as Luke comes thundering into town with a big old problem. He managed to kill the beast with his lightsaber, but he did it in front of Tura, and now his secret is out. She drops a bomb that her grandmother also used to carry a lightsaber. But when Luke presses her, she changes the subject. Thane Marcona and Luke engage in some definitely not gay, shirtless, sweaty sword training, while Han and Leia literally just lounge around because they have months until the next traders show up and there's literally no communications on the planet whatsoever. Han refers to the events of Solo, a Star Wars story, and I thought it was cool to see original trilogy depiction of Han talking about something that happens in the new additions to the Disney canon. I suppose we'll be seeing more and more of that as time moves on, but this is the first time that I really noticed it. Tura reveals to Luke that her grandmother was indeed a Jedi who left the Order after falling in love. She explains the isolationist history of the moon and their people, and she begs Luke not to use the transmitter that she knows he's built in secret. Luke is shocked, and he doesn't reveal his decision. We don't know if he's going to use it or not. Luke tries to bring up his plan to Han and Leia, and when Leia shoots him down, he has such a farm boy tantrum. The way Angel Unzueta drew his face just cracks me up so much. He's like howling with rage, and he's like 3 feet from Leia's face. Leia invites Han into her bedroom. Han definitely gets the wrong idea, and when he walks in, it is revealed that Leia has been obsessed with Queen Trios of Shotoran ever since she betrayed the Rebels. About 2 arcs ago during Hope Dies, which is one of the coolest Star Wars arcs ever read. She's gone full Pepe Sylvia, trying to figure out how to get her revenge against Queen Trios, and I'm sure we're going to see that soon. You know, I'm not sure how I feel about Queen Trios of Shotoran. Yes, she betrayed the rebels, but she did it to save millions of people that were under her own rule who were under threat from Vader. How do you feel? Do you think that she deserves what's coming to her, or should they be lenient on her based on her situation? Let me know in the comments below. That's it for the comics this week. Overall, the Star Wars series is still going along strong. I'm definitely going to have to play catch-up now, as the entire month of November I have not reviewed any of the comics. Stay tuned for those in the coming weeks, and I'll still be posting reviews for new releases every Wednesday, so look forward to those. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out the rest of the channel for more content, reactions, and reviews. Leave me a comment if you have a question or something to say, and as always, may the Force be with you.